Alright, well, I do appreciate the help from you and the people from Hinamizawa, apparently. I was well versed in that sense of camaraderie. But the way I was rescued just now, something seemed a little off about that. While I was helped out, it was honestly to an almost disturbing degree.
お店来ますよね。疲れちゃっただろうから一服しません？おごりますよ。
Since then she caught the glimmer of suspicion in my eyes. Without waiting for my answer, Shion began walking. Alright, let's just go to the restaurant and talk. After cooling off a bit inside the restaurant, little by little, I realized I was still on edge. Yeah, this restaurant is surely relaxing, quite cool. Like, away from the heat waves of the summer. Like a second holy land of the AC. There were spots here and there on my body that hurt. Probably because I had been so stiff with nervousness. Shion, who had changed into her uniform, brought over 2 glasses of iced coffee. Okay. Surprised me a little bit there. My patheticness really knew no bounds. And since she went through the trouble, I might as well take her up on the offer. Even though it had started out as such a lovely day, I had to get carried away and do that stupid thing. I completely ruined it.
でも本当にさ、さっきのは助かったよ。シオンが本当に頼もしく見えた。
私だって怖かったですよ。でも他ならぬケイちゃんのピンチだし、勇気出して頑張りましたってことです。
You are very sweet. While a little embarrassed by what she just said, Shion made a show of folding her arms boldly.
シオン、本当にありがとうな。
I was thanking Shion, but I really wanted to thank Neon. Neon, really, thank you.
ほらほら、もう元気出してくださいよ。もしも恩義を感じるなら、今度はケイちゃんが他の誰かのために戦ってくださいね。例えば、私がピンチになったら、きっと助けに来てくださいよ。
ああ、もちろんだ。約束する。
絶対ですからね。
Taking advantage of my words, she seemed happy about my promise.
ピンチになったら、ケイちゃんが助けに来てくれるのか。早くピンチにならないかな。あ、やっと笑ってくれた。
She said, and she smiled herself, poking me in the cheek.
元気のないケイちゃんなんて、偽物もいいとこです。ほら、笑って笑って。
くすぐったいってば。やめ。
Thanks to Shion's meddling, I finally cheered up a little. All the muscles in my body that had stiffened because of the instant finally being able to relax a little.
元気出たらお腹とか空いてこないです？私、お腹空いちゃいましたからホットケーキとか食べたいんですけど。ケイちゃんも食べます？
I wanted to show a little restraint, but restraint really wasn't my thing. That's why I replied without any.
うまいんだろうな。俺、ホットケーキはかなりうるさいぜ。
安心してください。うちのホットケーキはかなり評判いいですから。
Shion ordered some pancakes from a nearby waitress. An employee ordering from another employee seems kind of weird.
おいおい、そういえばシオン、今バイト中じゃないのか？俺とずっと話をして油売ってていいのかよ。
おじさんにね、私が不良に絡まれてるところをケイちゃんが助けてくれたって言ったら、ねぎらってあげろって。だから店長公認で OK です。
それ事実と正反対だぞ。いいのかな？
全然いいのです。
By the time the pancakes arrived, we had entered into a relaxed conversation. Alright, as the two of us ate pancakes, we livened up the mood with some chit-chat. About what was on TV, celebrities, that kind of thing. Hobbies, food, really nothing more than our chit-chat. Talking together like this, I once again became conscious of Shion being a girl. Hey now, that's funny talk, Keiichi Maebara. Shion and Mion are the same person. If there was anything different between them, it was only whether or not Mion admitted she was Mion. But given that, how come our conversation was this different?
ケイちゃんってお姉のことを女だと思ってないでしょう。
I guess since in your eyes we're still playing around, we're still going with the idea that they're different people, so like if we're to say that they're the same person, Mion wouldn't know that Keiichi thinks that they're the same person. But I guess realistically, if they are two of the same, they are separate people, then Shion surely doesn't know what goes through Keiichi's mind right now.
そんなことはないよ。男だったら容赦なくどつき倒してる。
ケイちゃんとお姉が仲がいいのってそういうノンセクシャルな関係にあると思うんです。それってなかなかできない羨ましい関係ですよ。
言ってる意味がよくわかんないが、まあ確かに女にしとくにはもったいないやつだよな。
あ、ケイちゃん、それ男女差別ですよ。
Hearing the word sexist was cause for introspection. What was I prejudiced against Mion and Shion for? Mion was Mion. She was the best friend a guy could have. No reservations. And head and shoulders above me when it came to club activities. And if I'd met her 5 years earlier, my life would have probably been a lot more fun. Of this, I had no doubt. And what about Shion? She was Mion's little sister. It had even been 3 days since we met. Her relationship was much more distant, as the only thread we had in common was that I knew her sister. And for Shion, it was the same. I was somebody she met 3 days ago only because I was a friend of her sister's. The difference between Mion and Shion? Friendliness? Familiarity? Playing around with those unclear thoughts for a while, I had stopped listening to Shion.
例えばですよ。聞いてます？
ああ、ごめん。聞いてるよ。
Keiichi was in his own world right now. In his mind.
例えばですよ。私とお姉が共にピンチで、崖にぶら下がってるとします。ケイちゃんはどっちを助けます？どっちか一人だけですよ。
She wasn't saying it to tease me, but had a playful tone behind her voice.
嫌な問題だな。
Seriously?
どっちも助けたいけど、それじゃダメなんだろ？
ダメです。シオンかミオンのどっちかだけです。どっちですか？
If it were Mion, I don't think she'd be in that situation in the first place, as it's something she could easily get out of herself. But what about the normal frail Shion? I guess I have no choice.
お姉じゃないですよね。
Mion and Shion were different people. I suppose it could come to that. I couldn't confirm nor deny it. She should have been smiling, but her gaze was locked firmly to mine.
つまり、そういうことなんですよ。お姉はそのつまり、あれ？すみません。なんか自分で言ってて破綻しちゃいました。
Shion was trying to talk in a light-hearted manner, but I felt that there was something more behind her words. Was Mion trying to tell me something through Shion? Not being able to put a finger on exactly what it was vexing. Shion, to hide her embarrassment, turned the conversation around.
それよりも さっきのあれ驚きましたか？
そりゃ驚いたよ。レナやサトコが駆けつけてくれるならともかく、あんなに老若男女がいろいろと集まってくるんだからな。あれ全部ひなみ沢の人なんだろ？
ええ、そうです。ひなみ沢の人はみんな結束してるんですよ。一人の敵は全員の敵。日和見なんか誰もしません。結構頼もしい住民性なんですよ。
誰かがいじめられたらみんなで結束してやっつけるわけか。なんだかマフィアとかヤクザみたいな結束だな。
そんなこと言っちゃダメですよ。とてもありがたいことなんですから。ケイちゃんもそれに助けられたんですよ。感謝の気持ちを忘れないように。
Yeah, we shall never forget to show our gratitude. Otherwise the curse will get us again. Ooh. I half-heartedly agreed. I knew full well I should be appreciative.
ひなみ沢の人たちって本当に仲が良くて結束してるんだな。
昔からの伝統かな。ひなみ沢って昔からいろいろと敗損の危機に遭うんですよね。その度に結束して戦って存続を勝ち取ってきたっていう歴史があるんですよ。
Yeah.
例えばケイちゃん、ひなみ沢ダム計画って知ってます？
Hinamizawa Dam Project. Let's see. I feel like I've heard somebody talk about it before.
10年くらい前にね、突然ここにダムができてひなみ沢が丸ごと水没するって話になったんですよ。
あ、そんな話親父かなんかに聞いたことがあるような。
The first one in 1975.
でもそれって確か中止になったんだろ？
中止にさせたんですよ。みんなで団結して。だからこれは戦って勝ち取った勝利なんです。
That sounded pretty much like the story I heard. The protest intensified to the point where it was featured in newspapers and magazines. As a result, the plan was suspended. Well, there was the 1975 one, where it probably wasn't as intense. It was the 1979 one that was quite intense, and some stuff happened.
ダムの話そのものは私が生まれる前からあったらしいんです。最初は候補地調査とか砂防のための小さいダムとかそんな程度の話だったんですよ。
But then the cat was let out of the bag. If it were completed, it would have been the biggest dam in Japan. Not just Hinamizawa, but several villages upstream would have been submerged as well. The protests immediately began. Petitions to cancel or relocate the project were drafted and submitted to the Diet. It even went so far as to go to the Ministry of Construction in Tokyo to hand over a direct appeal to the minister. The previous landowner sued the government, stating that there were inconsistencies in the purchase agreement and the transaction should be nullified. Owners of yet unacquired land split their properties, increasing the number of landowners in order to stifle the project.
土地の買収なんていうお金の問題のうちは可愛かったんです。そのうち土地の強制収用をちらつかせるようになりましてね。その頃からです。機動隊とかの暴力行為が目立ち始めたのは。
機動隊って警察だろ？暴力行為なんてするのかよ。
殴りますよ。蹴りますよ。私も殴られたことありますし。この辺だったかな。皮が切れちゃったみたいで血がすごい出ました。
Saying that, Shion indicated her temple by poking at it.
警察とかには？
Filing a complaint against the riot police for police brutality would seem kind of strange for some reason. Naturally, they wouldn't pay heed to something like that. You wouldn't be able to establish proof on who exactly hit you, and they could justify their actions by saying you were interfering with police duties.
うちのバッチャ烈火のごとく怒り狂いましてね。それからがすごかった。もう全面戦争ですよ。こっちも座り込みで訴えるなんて生っちょろいことなんかしません。ガンガン攻めました。
First, in order to call attention to the government, they filed a temporary injunction in court. Then, in order to gain public support, they called in prominent scientists to state that Hinamizawa was a valuable nature preserve. They pressured the prefectural and municipal assemblies, saying that the prefectural governor ignored his constituents when he approved the project and demanded his resignation. They completely and thoroughly denounced him. Naturally, in Hinamizawa, a ferocious conflict worthy of being called the Dam War began. In order to suppress the police's brutality, they coordinated with the network channels and exposed the violence of the riot squad members to the public. On top of that, they put together a special expose themed around the government repressing the citizens, and aired it nationally. It worked wonders. Following that, the SWAT teams had their cans cuffed. Day after day, the petitions and demonstrations continued. Propaganda was used to help garner support. The circle of support gradually expanded outwards from Hinamizawa. Either that bore fruit, or the government finally decided against it. It was announced that the dam project was indefinitely suspended just a few years ago.
私たちにできることなら何でもしました。村全部が一丸になって戦ったんです。あの時は必死だったけど、終わった今となってはいい思い出かな。村人たちの連帯感や団結心は今でも消えていないんです。
Shion said that, and she focused off into the distance. I felt that those eyes weren't filled with anguish, but rather a sense of pride.
そういう連帯感っていいよな。
Yeah, very.
なかなかないことだよ。世代を超えて地域で団結できるなんて。
私もそう思います。ダム計画は試練だったけど、それを乗り越えて得たものはとても大きいと思いますよ。
The fear I was feeling until just now gradually began to fade. When people began to show up one after another while I was engaged with those folks, I thought it was frightening. But now, I felt from the bottom of my heart that I had been rude. Well, okay, I will accept that people were actually there and they were not just in Keiichi's mind. But how they were acting, that's still something to be debated. It felt a little bit strange. And the sense of solidarity that fostered. I seem impudent to say this, but I was a little jealous. If I had been in Hinamizawa when the protest against the dam was going on, I might have been able to share in that sense of solidarity.
ケイちゃんは反対運動の時、Hinamizawaにいなかったから、村人たちの連帯感を実感できないかもしれないけど、みんなにはあるの。しっかりと。それはたとえ引っ越してきたばかりのケイちゃんに対してもね。
She couldn't have been more right. So many people got together to help me out when I just moved here. Even though they were strangers whose names I didn't even know. A odd feeling began welling up inside of me. When I lived in a city, I didn't even know my own neighbors. I thought that was natural. But here, that was an absurd and pathetic thing. Even though I thought of them as strangers, all the other villagers viewed me as a comrade. Happiness and warmth. I was acutely aware of those feelings as they gradually welled up inside of me.
園崎さん、店長がホール入ってほしいそうです。
A more senior waitress waved her hand and called out to Shion. It sounded like it was time for work.
あ、はい、今入ります。 すみません。もう仕事しないとまずいみたいです。
いいよいいよ。付き合ってくれてありがとな。楽しかったよ。
あ、帰っちゃいます？
まあな。飯の時間には戻らないとおふくろがうるさいし。
It seemed that Shion wanted to say something, but she swallowed her words. Like we hadn't talked enough. That kind of feeling. Looking at the expression, I regretted saying something that had disappointed Mio like that. I was about to say that I could stray for a little bit longer, and Shion got up from her seat.
はい、これ。このチケットで払えば、ホットケーキ代も大丈夫ですから。
Oh, thank you, Shion. Saying that, she showed me a coupon booklet as she tore out a few sheets and handed them to me.
便利でしょ？お給料の他にもらえるボーナスチケットなんですよ。
いいよ。ホットケーキ代くらい払えるよ。
おやおや、遠慮するなんてケイちゃんらしくないですよ。私がお姉だったら喜んでおごられるくせに。
She said as she laughed, gently stopping me from opening my wallet. Being told so with such an encouraging smile really resounded with me.
園崎さん、すみません。レジ入ってください。あ、はい、今すぐ。
Later. Today was fun. Saying that, Shion smiled one more time at me.
あ、ミオン。今日は本当にありがとうな。この恩は忘れないよ。
そう思うなら、きっと返してください。楽しみにしてますから。
After I said that, I realized I would mistakenly call her Mion. Yeah, you did. And she didn't correct you on that one. I didn't know if she realized it or not. Okay, well, we learned once again about the damn project. Time to go to bed right now. Lazing around and watching television after dinner was part of my daily routine. It might seem like a waste at first glance, but you could say it was an important time when I was able to acquire knowledge of everything from politics to economics to various trivia. After dinner was valuable time well spent while the brain was at its most supplied with nutrients.
バカバカ。東京タワーの方が高いに決まってるだろう。あー
Today I tested my knowledge of trivia by watching my weekly quiz show. Quiz show? Sitting in front of the television, I was able to get a lot of the answers right. But if I were actually up on stage, I'd probably fail miserably. Oh, somebody's calling my phone.
園崎さんから電話よ。
Hi, Mom.
あいよ。園崎？ミオンか。
It was a little late for her to be calling. I had a bad feeling about this, and I hunch it was something to do with club activities. She was probably going to inform me about what we were doing tomorrow. This was Mion we're talking about. She might even go so far as to say we're doing club activities right now. So hurrying up and come over. By the way, it was 8 p.m. Stuff like that can happen. Even at like 11 p.m. Probably not. At least I hope.
もしもし。今から部活の野戦ってのは却下だぞ。
じゃなくて、
Shion. My, surely you wanna talk to Keiichi a lot lately? It was Mion, but it was very un-Mion-like way of talking. Huh? Could it be...
ごめん。ひょっとしてミオンじゃなくてシオンか？
そうです。どうもこんばんは。夜分遅くにすみません。
For Mion, this would have been an ill-fittingly polite way of talking. But since it was Shion, it was unnatural. Even though they were both the same person. With a dry smile, I enjoyed that mysterious feeling.
いや別にいいよ。それより何の用だい？
ケイちゃんはケーキとかデザートとか甘いものは好きですか？
Hell yeah! There was no way I hated her. I am an unabashed glutton.
ならよかったです。実はですね、夏の新デザートコンテストってのがありまして。
It looks like they have a new dessert menu every season. So they were hiring taste testers for potential desserts.
エンジェルモートのデザートはかなり評判いいんですよ。モニターの募集もかなり倍率高いんです。それで担当直入な話、じゃ
じゃーんと言われても見えないからわからないけど、ひょっとして。
Yeah.
ーん、そうです。そのモニターチケットがここにあるってわけです。もしも甘いものが嫌いじゃないならいかがですか？
いかがですかって、つまりなんだよ。そのチケットで俺が新デザートを食い放題と、そういうわけなのか？
Oh. They say to beware of honeypots. This is sweeter than any pot of honey. And Shion, you sure are being quite sweet, like honey. All I can eat free dessert? No way!
OK ならモニター当選者の末番に名前を書いておきますね。明日お店に来たら係の者に名前を言ってください。それで万事 OK ですから。
万事 OK って、それで食べ放題なのか？無料なのか？
ええ、無料です。結構ありますからお腹を空かせてくることをおすすめします。
This was such a delectable opportunity, it was almost scary. This was really Shion, right? It wasn't Mion posing as Shion in order to bait me into a trap, was it? What am I saying? They were the same person.
はいはい。ケイちゃんの考えてることは分かってますよ。こんな美味しい話があるわけないって思ってるんでしょ？
Not until you said that yourself.
ギク。いや、そんなことは全然。
お姉から聞いてますけど、つくづく嘘のつけない人なんですね。私、そういうの嫌いじゃないです。
Shion laughed with a voice that sounded a lot like how Mion would laugh.
下心ってわけじゃないんですけど、実は私、明日はちょっとバイトしたらすぐに終わりなんです。もしもご迷惑じゃなかったら、その後ちょっとご一緒してもらってもいいかなって思いまして。
へえ、明日のバイトはすぐ終わっちゃうんだ。
はい。だから、ケイちゃんがデザート食べながらのんびりしてるうちに終わっちゃうんです。
まあ、俺も特に用事はないし、多少付き合うくらいなら構わないよ。
別にどこかに行くわけでもないです。夕涼みしながらお散歩でもできたらなって思ってるだけですから。
Sure thing. There was no reason for me to refuse. Out of courtesy, I might as well take her up on her offer.
そういえば、ケイちゃんと私ってなんだか毎日会ってますよね。
言われてみればそうだな。
でも OK してもらえたおかげでまた明日も会える口実を作ることができました。
What was Mion saying?
ケイちゃん、なんだか声が裏返ってます。どうしたんでしょうね。
It wasn't a video phone, but she could tell I was beat red.
じゃあ明日きっと来てくださいね。それじゃあこれで失礼します。おやすみなさい。
She's not looking at us. She's not looking at us from a distance with binoculars, right?
あ、おやすみ。
Yeah. Oyasumi. Shion finished with what she had called to say, ended the conversation without any chit-chat. When I returned to the living room after hanging up the phone, the TV was already off and my mom was sleeping in a rocking chair. Not feeling like turning the TV back on, I went back upstairs and returned to my room.
俺、シオンに世話になってばかりだよな。
She got me a bento, saved me when I got involved with those thugs. She was supposed to be a different person, so I could thank Mion at school. Come to think of it, she'd probably just say she'll pass it on to her sister. I have to thank Shion directly. Tomorrow, I'll have to repay her somehow. Yeah, surely. Something bad is gonna happen eventually. With this whole ordeal with Mion and Shion, I know it. Details of the delinquent free. I wonder. Alright, let's see about some tips right over here. Details of the delinquent free. Let's go. Let's hear some stuff about our good old Bakugo over here.
俺たちが逮捕されなきゃなんねえんだろうが。すっとらってんじゃねえ。話さんけこれ。
クマちゃん、腕を離してあげていいですよ。さささ、どうぞおかげになって。
The three people rubbed their arms painfully. Kumagai-kun and the others must have been squeezing them pretty tightly.
お兄さんたち誤解しないでくださいよ。別に逮捕したわけじゃないんだから。クマちゃん、冷蔵庫から冷たいの出してあげてください。お兄さんたちは泡の出る麦茶と出ない麦茶どっちがいいです？ん？
They plunked down onto the reception sofa. And despite not yelling anymore, they still had dangerous expressions. What I give to be young again.
飲まないなら私勝手に飲んじゃいますよ。失礼してピシッと。
Oh, like the great offering for the god of coolness. A cool drink.
勤務中に飲むビールが一番美味しいですね。
As he downed the beer with glee, the three people exchanged glances, then finally reached out for their cans. They hadn't stopped being cautious. It was more like they didn't see a reason to refuse. They each opened their cans and began to drink the contents.
お兄さんたちはどっから来たんです？ここいらの人じゃないでしょう。
They looked at each other again, suspicious of whether they should tell him.
お兄さんたち大学生？お友達同士？バイクか何かで旅行中だったんでしょうかね。羨ましいなあ。家は近くってわけじゃないんでしょ？どっから来たの？大阪ですかな？
んなのどこでもいいだろ。
まあまあそうすごまないで。あのままいたらお兄さん方だってやばかったでしょ。
They seemed to recall the freighting event from earlier. While they could understand getting surrounded by students, or a gang, or something along those lines, they would never have been surrounded by locals both young and old, both men and women before. It was easy to imagine how scared they must have been.
ここいらの人間ならどんな間違いがあってもHinamizawaの人間には手出ししないですよ。子供の喧嘩に親は出てくるな、なんてもんじゃない。一人をいじめたら、それこそ村中が総出でやってきますよ。いや、ほんと、脅しでも何でもなく。
They couldn't argue against that. They themselves had been surrounded. They'd seen it with their own eyes. There was no doubt about it.
ここいらじゃねえ。Hinamizawaの人間に睨まれたら、あっさり鬼隠しにあって消えちまうんです。
Ooh, you're gonna get onikakushi'd!
もう、跡形もなく忽然と。お兄さん方、行方不明になったら誰か捜索願いを出してくれるご家族はいます？いないならまずいな。蒸発扱いですよ。
Even then, we got there soon enough that nothing happened. If we'd been late, things would have taken a turn for the worse. If they'd been forced into an alleyway, these young men wouldn't be sitting on a couch right now. They might be lying on an autopsy table. Well, probably not. Anyway, perhaps they'd be a little more cooperative if we found them as corpses.
お
Jesus!
兄さん方、沖宮へは何で来たの？電車？
Oishi, what are you doing here?
バイク？
バイク。
そりゃまずいな。さっきのとこにまだ止めっぱなしなんでしょ？あんたらのこのことバイクを取りに戻ったら、 今度こそ袋叩きに会いますよ。
なんだよそれ。上等じゃねえか。
Calm down, calm down. Why are young people these days so quick with the shouting?
あんたらももう面倒ごとはごめんでしょう。バイクのナンバー教えてください。
There are bike license plate number? Is that how the Japanese work? They have like license plates on their bikes too? Let me check.
ここまで持ってきてあげますから。クマちゃん、交通課対策にゲート車を借りてきてください。
えっせ。別にいいよ。自分たちで取りに行くからいいって。
あんたら本気で囲まれたいんですか。今度は警察間に合わないかもしれませんよ。
大丈夫だっつってんだろ。囲み上等で。
おい、お兄さん、あんたら今泡の出る麦茶飲んだろう。エンジンかけてみろ。その場で飲酒取るぞ、こら。
汚ねえ。
Oi, be careful here, you hoodlums. You're angering Oishi here.
警察が税金使って兄さん方のバイクを運びして死んぜよって言ってんだよ。ごちゃごちゃ言わねえで、ナンバー言えってんだ、このクソバカ野郎。
Whew. The three were hesitant to tell him the numbers. They were mumbling something along the lines of not remembering them since they just bought the bikes. Oh, that's what I thought.
クマちゃん、ゲート車に同行してバイク持ってきてあげて。ごつい赤いやつとテールランプの右側が割れたやつ。あとシートにガムテ貼ってあった白いやつ。それだろ、兄さんたちのバイク。
They didn't answer. Those must be the right ones.
おいさん、ゲート車来ましたんで行ってきます。
はいはい、よろしくお願いします。あとクマちゃん、ちょっと。
Okay, I think that they are talking about motorcycles. I don't know why they they keep riding it as bikes. They are motorcycles. Makes sense for some hoodlums to be using motorcycles.
なんすか？
ナンバー紹介しといてください。間違ったバイクを持ってきちゃうと悪いから。
The three people's faces changed color. They made themselves very easy to understand.
バイク戻ってくるまでのんびりしてましょうよ。ビールもっとありますよ。乾き物だってありますし。テレビ見ます？ろくなのやってませんけどね。
いいよ。俺たちもう行くから。こんなとこにいつまでもいたくねえよ。
Suddenly, there were 5 or 6 huge officers surrounding them. Their clearly overpowering stares nailed them to the sofa. Now, what do you think, ladies and gents? Especially ladies. Isn't Oishi hot? I mean, now it makes sense. Why do you think that he is the god of ACs? Why do you think that he needs drinks to cool himself off? Because if he's too hot and he doesn't get his drinks or doesn't get his coolness, then everything would melt away around him. And that would be dangerous. You wouldn't want to be in Oishi's area of effect. You wouldn't want to be impacted by Oishi's awesomeness and hotness.
なんだよ。俺たちが何かしたかよ。
Going on a trip by stealing motorcycles, huh? Since these days have too much time on their hands. Okay, so it's motorcycles. Okay. They're riding it as bikes. Okay. I guess so. You hoodlums, you are in trouble. Alright. I am excited about the taste testing. I knew we wouldn't be doing any club activities after school today before Mion even said anything. I'd been invited over by Shion for an all-you-can-eat dessert. I made a point of leaving half my lunch uneaten. My expectations would only be rivaled by my hunger. Man, you know, like, imagine with the possibility that there are actually two separate people, Mion and Shion. It doesn't help that there are such coincidences that would enable like Keiichi to think that they are the same person. Because if Shion said, hey, let's do some taste testing today, and then Mion would be like, hey, let's do like a really long club activity today, like that would conflict. But no, because there's this coincidence that, oh, Mion is suddenly busy today, we cannot do like any club activities, and that will enable Keiichi to think even more that Mion and Shion are the same person.
ケイチくん、今日はなんだか嬉しそうだね。いいことあるのかな
I guess it was obvious. Rena had questioned me with a happy look. That's right. Why don't I invite Rena for dessert as well? Okay, perfect. Have Rena with us as well. Now, if I recall correctly, Shion said something about having a ticket. At worst, the restaurant might be admission by ticket only today. If that was the case, then having Rena be turned away at the door would result in the worst feeling ever. Yeah.
ちょっとしたラッキーでさ、明日報告してやるよ。レナきっと羨ましがるぜ。
And of course, what a twist of fate that none of the other girls are gonna get involved in Keiichi and the Shion shenanigans.
なんだろう。いいの。そのラッキーって可愛いかな。
Cute? I wonder what Rena would think of the uniforms at Angel Mort. She would explode, she would die. They'd definitely be a critical hit.
多分かなり可愛いかも。
へえ、いいの。何かな。へえ。
Okay, you scared me there a little bit, Mion. I thought that we were alone with Rena.
どんな幸運に恵まれたのやら。あれ？ひょっとして2月くらい前にエンジェルモートで三角くじとか引いた？
In the jaw 2 months ago?
それに当たった？
おい、俺は2月前にはまだ転校してきてないぞ。
ああ、そっか。じゃあエンジェルのデザートフェスタでもないし。みーちゃん、エンジェルのデザートフェスタって何かな？ほら、沖宮の駅前の正面にエンジェルモートっていうファミレスがあるじゃない？あそこではね、季節の変わり目に新デザートのお披露目イベントをやるんだよ。それが今日でね。あ、言っても無駄だよ。くじ当選者以外は入店できない貸し切りデーだから。
Mion explains again, what Shion explained to me last night.
レナも今度からお店に通ってみよう。頑張ってくじを当てて次のデザート食べ放題を狙うの。
It is interesting. Like, if it's a year thing, have you never heard of that, Rena? I mean, you lived here. Then again, she did transfer, but probably not a long time, though. I guess it is a new thing, what the Angel Mort is doing.
頑張れ。ちなみに聞いた話だと、当選くじはマニア垂涎のプラチナチケットで闇では高値で取引されてるなんて噂が。
Shion is dealing with the black market? Conspiracy? Hearing that story, I felt even more appreciative of the ticket that Shion had procured for me. I just thought I was lucky to be able to eat dessert for free, but it turned out that the ticket was much more valuable. And the other things I had to thank Shion for had increased again.
ありがとな。 そんなに価値があるものなんて俺全然知らなくて。
I whispered in a voice only Mion could hear. That was how I conveyed my feelings. Mion looked at me for a moment before she tilted her head to the side and smiled confusedly.
何？なんか言った？
It would be a problem if you said something to me right now. And that smile seemed to be telling me as much. I guess Mion wouldn't be accepting any gratitude while she was Mion. I'll go to the restaurant. Today, I'll thank Mion while she is Shion.
じゃ、おじさんはこの辺で失礼するわ。
Alright.
今日のバイトはちょっとハードなんだよな。じゃあね。
Johnny! Mion waved her hand energetically as she left.
ねえケイチくん、なんだかみーちゃん最近変なの。
Has she?
浮かれてるっていうか嬉しそうっていうか。
そうなのか？
Rena was pretty sharp when it came to these types of things. To me, Mion seemed the same as always, but Rena apparently felt something different.
ケイチくんは知らないのかな。てっきり知ってるのかなって思って。
Rena's skirt fluttered as she spun around with a coy smile.
知ってるって俺が何を？
I was obviously weaseling my way out of the question, but I wasn't lying. Honestly, I didn't really know what was going on. Why did Shion, a persona of Mion that she created, appear before me? Something was blatantly up, but Rena paid it no heed.
そっか。じゃあ何なんだろうね。でもみーちゃんが機嫌いいとレナも嬉しいよ。はう。
Ah, woo! Saying that, she spread her arms wide and spun around happily. I didn't know why, but Rena was in a really good mood. It was so infectious that I had to smile. Even the chirping of the cicada seemed joyful.
でもね、
Rena abruptly stopped spinning. Her expression had returned to a more somber one.
みーちゃんね、つい最近ね、
Yes?
すごく傷つけられたの。
Has she?
傷つけってえ？
The pain that Rena was talking about probably wasn't physical.
はじめはあまり気にしてないふりをしてたけど、怪我と同じ。だんだん腫れてきた。じんじん腫れてきた。とうとう痛みがこらえられなくなって、夜中に目を覚ました。そして、レナに電話してきたの。みーちゃんは泣いてた。
ごめん。それ何の話だよ？
何の話？レナは今何か話をしてたのかな？
おい、そんなとぼけ方するなよ。今レナは。
知らない。レナは何も知らないよ。はう。
Rena spun as she left innocently. Eventually, she appeared to get sick, stumbling as she steadied herself with her hand against the wall. Alright, well, as I said before, I have dealt with my fair share of twins and, people, like multiple people under the same umbrella and such. And as I said, and this can get complicated, but I guess a simple idea that I can at the very least say right now is that, okay, Keiichi thinks that Mion and Shion are the same person. And you know, with all this stuff with Shion happening lately and Keiichi having these feelings developing in him for Shion, who he also knows is Mion, that's kind of that's in a way kind of good. Like Keiichi actually is starting to feel something different for Mion, which is what Mion would probably want because she showed some signs there that Mion has a thing for Keiichi as well. But the thing is, there is that possibility that Shion and Mion are two different people. And when Neon sees that Keiichi is going after Shion, that makes her really sad. Like, on one hand, Keiichi does think of Mion, but Mion doesn't see the situation the same way. She thinks that, oh man, Keiichi likes Rena, Keiichi likes Shion, but I do love him though. There's that possibility. I don't know. Maybe there's a bit more complex than that, but that's how I see it right now.
はう目が回って
バカだな。調子に乗ってぐるぐる回ってるからだよ。
Yeah, try not to spin too hard there. uh,
ごめん。はあ、気持ち悪いかも。
I lended this a shoulder to Leon. To be stumbling around like a newborn foal at this age is actually quite a feat. Rena, in a good mood, only babbling incoherently after that. I laughed as I responded to and chided her. However, the chance to revisit that heavy topic Rena had brought up before never arrived.